I am taking up high impact aerobics. That was a joke. Hello and welcome to another video, and today I'm talking about, as you probably guessed in the title, my new training program. Now, first things first, I have not actually finished a training program yet, so I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing, but I thought I'd kind of update you on how things are going and why, like the thought process behind that. So, I mean, as a lot of you may know, a lot of you may not know, I've been following my own program for a long time now. Like, I started powerlifting back in January last year, so we're talking like over a year and a half ago now. At that point I ran Wendler for like maybe a few months. I then jumped onto my own program, which I've been doing from that point up to now. So we're talking about, I've been doing my own program for over a year now. Now, it's very, very simple. It's essentially sets of 5 and sets of 3. I played around with the volume and the frequency and that kind of stuff, but generally speaking, it's looked very similar from when I started it back then. Now, you can go back and look at my, my training videos, and you'll get a rough idea of what I was doing. I've explained previous training programs a couple of times in videos, so you can feel free to go and look at all that stuff and have a clearer understanding in case you don't know. But what I'm currently doing now is squats twice a week, deadlift once a week, and bench twice a week, which is a recent change of mine. Now, basically, I mean, I've made, first things first, what I've been doing, I think has worked really well for me. I've made some really, really good gains. You can look at, I've made some kind of transformation type videos where I've showed my squat progress and my deadlift progress and bench progress, and you can see that I've put on a lot of weight in a short period of time. However, I feel like I've kind of exhausted that style of training. What I was essentially doing was just really basic linear progression. That means I was doing a session, so maybe 5 sets of 5. Next week, doing it a bit heavier. For the following week, a bit heavier, and so on. And then I'll test at the end of the cycle, and then go again. Now, as a beginner, that works fantastically. In my opinion, as a beginner, for a beginner, you can't really go wrong. If you train consistently and you progressively overload the weight, you're not really going to go wrong as long as you get your kind of frequency and stuff right. But like I said, I feel like I always knew it was a matter of time. I always said my squats in particular, I am going to plateau soon, and it has started to happen. The last kind of month or so, I'm missing reps far more frequently, and I'm not able to up the weight. And if I do try and up the weight, I just miss more reps. So it is most certainly time for a change. Now, I'm looking around at various programs. I'm looking at the Campbell PRS and the various DUP programs and all kinds of stuff. There's so many things out there. To be honest, a lot of them are very similar and just kind of dressed up slightly differently. I think the biggest thing, and this is important for everyone, is that I don't think you should just pick one program and stick with that, because programs are very individualized. What works for one person is not going to work for everyone. So you do what I'm planning on doing is picking elements of different programs that I like and kind of making my own like Frankenstein programs, or a Franken program if you like. Yeah, but what I mean in terms of, so training wise, you've got 3 areas. You've obviously got your frequency, you've got your intensity, and you've got your volume. In terms of frequency, I've kind of settled on 5 days a week now, and I think that's working well. I was training 6 days. I think that's too much, particularly when you start, when your training age goes up a bit. So I am going to stay on 5 days. In terms of what I do on those days, I'm pretty happy with my setup. I think I'm probably going to keep it the same. So it will still be squatting twice, deadlifting once, and bench pressing twice. It will be more the volume and the intensity that I change. So in terms of intensity, that is the biggest change. I have, up to this point, pretty much been lifting maximally for sets of 3 or sets of 5 for every single session. Now, particularly with squats and to a lesser degree of deadlifts, I can't maintain that. It's not sustainable for, for years and years, because you can't, unless you're doing the same weight each week, which is going to be a bit demoralizing, you can't continually increase the weight. So what I'm going to do, I think, is give myself, I was looking at the powerlifting to win kind of program, which is a kind of an adaptation of the Texas method, I think. And I think I'm going to do something similar. So what I'll be doing with my squats and my deadlifts is, instead of saying, right, I'm doing 5 sets of 3 today or 5 sets of 5 today, I'll say, drop it down to 3 sets and say, maybe 3 to 6 reps. So what that'll mean is I can do, let's say I'm squatting 500 pounds. One week I say, right, I'm going to do this for 3 sets of 3 to 6 reps. Maybe I'll get that for 3 sets of 3 reps. The following week, instead of having to up the weight and then struggle to get the reps, I can just see if I can get 1 or 2 more reps. if I can do that, if I get to a certain number of reps I'm doing, I can then up the weight. What I'm also going to do is looking to get into smaller plates, so some like half a kilogram plates and 0.75 kilogram plates, which will allow me to increase the weight more incrementally and not just constantly have to put on a lot of weight, because like I said, that is not sustainable in the long term unless you are taking drugs. Yeah, so that is that in terms of intensity. And in terms of volume, I won't change that much. I'm still going to maintain my bodybuilding stuff. I want to keep doing that. I might drop it down a little bit, because I think at the top level of powerlifting, if you do too much bodybuilding type work, that definitely could harm your strength gain. So I might manage that a little bit, but I'll still be doing a lot of things I'm doing now. And that is pretty much that, guys. I just wanted to update you on that front. If you have any ideas in terms of training, if you have things that have worked for you perfectly, programs that you think, you know, the best programs out there, things you think would work for me, by all means let me know in the comment section. There are a lot of you guys that know more about powerlifting than I do, so I would massively appreciate that. Yeah, it is still very much a work in progress. I am probably going to implement, I'm going to test my maxes in the next week. I'm testing them before I go to America, and then from that point I'll have like 7 or 8 weeks until the British Champs. So I'll implement a few changes for my training cycle leading up to the British Champs, nothing major, and then from that point I'll have, you know, everything set out exactly how I want it. It will be experimental at first, because again, something I like to do as well, I don't like to say, right, I'm doing this program, boom, that's it, I'm doing it non-stop. I like to, you know, try something and then make changes, because you're never going to get it right first time. You're never going to know exactly what you need to do. The current program I'm on now has taken me, you know, over 6 months to hone, and even then I'm still making changes up until recently. So it will very much be a work in progress, but I just thought I'd update you on that front, because I know a lot of you, all the time ask me what training program I'm on. I'm forever linking my videos to you guys on, on my training program and stuff. So what I'll do is I'll get all this in cement. I'll know exactly what I'm doing. I'll try it out for myself, and when I'm happy with it, I'll probably release it so you guys can use it as well if you want to. Yes, so I sincerely hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Please like, comment, share, subscribe as always, and I will see you tomorrow.